a raid on Venezuela, and a captured head of state. These pictures show how the U.S. is changing its approach to Latin American countries.
With this operation, really all of Latin America is on notice about the willingness of the United States to use military force to achieve its objectives in the region. And I think really this is quite a strong message, and one that we haven't heard for some decades here in Latin America from the United States.
For years, the U.S. has been working with Latin American nations to stop the drug trade and reduce immigration. But under President Trump, there's a more heavy-handed approach, as countries that fail to cooperate with the U.S. are threatened with tariffs and even military action.
It's a willingness to use leverage to try to encourage countries to take certain actions. I think that's what the Trump administration has shown a willingness to do above and beyond what the Biden administration was willing to do.
There also seems to be a renewed effort to control resources like oil and push competitors like China out of the region, which could also explain why the Trump administration targeted Maduro.
He was seen as an agent of non-hemispheric powers. Although Maduro is Venezuelan, he was promoting the interests of China and Iran, and even of groups like Hezbollah.
But there are also limits to U.S. intervention under Trump. In Venezuela, the administration is working with officials from Maduro's authoritarian government, instead of pushing for regime change or a new election.
Their priority for now is to have someone in charge who supports U.S. interests and to maintain order. An election would generate conflicts and require more U.S. involvement.
Elsewhere in the region, the Trump administration has tried to use its economic leverage. Colombia's government has been threatened with tariffs and financial sanctions due to its differences with the U.S. over drug policy, while ideological allies like the government of Argentina have been rewarded with financial aid. In Honduras, Trump threatened to withdraw aid if conservative leader Nasri Asfuda didn't win the presidential election. Asfuda ended up winning by a few thousand votes.
These kinds of threats work with countries whose economy depends heavily on the US, but in places like Brazil, whose economy is more diversified, they haven't worked.
This year, relations between the US and Latin American countries will be put to the test again, as Colombia, Peru, and Brazil hold presidential elections. While in Venezuela, it remains to be seen if Trump will push for new elections, or will his administration leave democracy aside as it cuts deals with Venezuela's unelected government. Manuel Rueda, TRT World, Bogotá.